Good day, I'm Jason Kioa, the moderator of the Uniting Church for the Synod of Victoria and Tasmania, bringing to you my Christmas message from the chapel. Christmas is often taking place in challenging times. The global financial crisis means that people around the world are now experiencing job losses, housing distress, and deep-seated insecurity. The threats of collapse of the international institutions and the fear of change has made the world fragile for many. During this year, the poor of the world face tougher times with rising food prices, unchecked malaria and HIV/AIDS epidemics, and the tragedy of war in many places in the world. In fact, some claim now is one of the most violent times in history, with more than 100 wars, armed rebellions, and international conflicts taking place all over the world. At home here in Australia, there are more and more people experiencing homelessness and the effects of drought and water shortage. But in some ways, it has always been like this. Christmases have always been difficult for someone. Into the midst of this difficulty comes Christmas. And just as Jesus was born in a stable in a world of strife, so today we say God has come amongst us in our troubled world. Christmas is the season that reminds us of God's eternal love in Christ. God entered the world in human form to say to us that there is no human experience that cannot be touched by the love of God in Christ. Christmas represents God's suffering and sacrifice for all of us. My Christmas message to you all: this year, that God energizes us and that we in turn can energize others by being helpful and prayerful and caring for our neighbors and for our communities. Through this love of God, we know, once again, that the material world and materialism are not the real answers to living a happy life. Having more does not make us richer in life's treasures of love, hope, and peace. But we also recall that in engaging our neighbors in their suffering, that pain does not have the final word. Justice and peace are the true outcomes of faith in a loving God. So this Christmas is no different from any other. And while we face many global problems, God is with us locally, bringing goodwill to us globally. May you all have a blessed Christmas.